Today, Uncle Joe's doing something no sitting president has ever done in the history of our country. He's joining the workers' strike. And I just wish the Democratic Party, the party that supports union labor, could come together behind this decision just one time. When I was 10 years old, I asked my grandpa why he was a Democrat. And he told me it's because it was the party of the working man. And to be 100% honest with you, I'd rather talk about these kind of issues than whatever culture war issue is the latest outrage for the day. If you've been on this channel long enough, you know Biden was never my first choice. I don't even know if he's my second choice. But even I have to admit, he's done a shit ton more than I expected, than probably you expected, than the Republicans expected. He dropped the ball with the railroad companies. Yes, he did. And in the 80s and 90s, as a senator, he passed a lot of bullshit. In the face of literal fascism, I mean, it's not even a choice at this point. At least not for me. And yes, as a guy whose first presidential vote was cast for Ralph Nader, I'm tired of that caveat. I'm tired of voting against losing our country to fascists. I honestly thought this country was on the precipice of a more left era. I thought this country was about to shift to the left and reflect the views of the people in it, the majority. But I'm also a realist. When you see Nazis in the street, unmolested, spewing white nationalist talking points, when you see the Republicans frontrunner for president calling for the execution of generals, when you see the Republicans frontrunner for president calling to get rid of news stations and newspapers that don't kiss his ass, and when the Kochs, the Heritage Foundation, combine powers with right-wing think tanks, all the right-wing think tanks, they put together a 1,000-page manifesto laying out exactly what they'll do, a modern Mein Kampf to a new fascist America that rolls back democracy. Project 2025, mandate for leadership. I mean, even the first page of the damn document tells you how fascist it is. And it warrants its whole episode. This flew under the radar for me. I'm playing catch up on it. I'm putting together something. I was probably concentrating on some bullshit culture war like I was talking about. But basically the Kochs, the Heritage Foundation, they all got together and they put together a 1,000-page manifesto, a 1,000-page plan on how to roll back American democracy and replace it with theocracy. But back to the Biden's not so bad episode, right? Just take a minute. Imagine if Obama forgave all student loans when he had that Supreme Court. Back in, like, I don't know, he could have done it even his second term, so he wouldn't get so much blowback in 2013. Just imagine. If part of Obamacare, what he spent all his political capital on, what if it did contain protections for women's right to choose, a woman's right to just have privacy with her own doctor? The Obama White House yelled at Biden during that first 4 years because he said he supported gay marriage. So, you know, I'm just saying, look, I get it. Obama was the first black president. He couldn't come off as too radical, too extreme, because then the Republicans would use that against him. But what he didn't understand, or what he should have understood, or what we all understood, was racist-ass Republicans were going to use that against him anyway. It didn't matter what he did. Obama, by all accounts, was a centrist, a very centrist president. And look how they depict him today, right?
Thanks, Obama.
The point I'm trying to make, and even if it's just for the optics, even if it's just for the history books, Biden showing up as the first sitting president to an active workers' union strike is a big fucking deal. And as a Democrat, we should act like it. It's definitely a bigger deal than whatever this shit was. And to show you just how out of touch, how brain damaged your average Republican is, Trump decided he's going to show up the very next day to the strike. Here's the email that the president of the UAW, Shawn Fain, sent around. Every fiber of our union is being poured into fighting the billionaire class and the economy that enriches people like Donald Trump at the expense of workers. We can't keep electing billionaires and millionaires and don't have any understanding what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck and struggle to get by, expecting to solve the problems of the working class. You could just ask the judge and jury in Eugene Carroll's case, who found Trump guilty of rape. He doesn't take no for an answer. Yes, Donald Trump, the elitist New York billionaire landlord who never hired a union worker in his entire life, who didn't even pay 3/4 of the workers he did hire, he's a champion for the working people. In the idiotic MAGA cult metaverse, I guess. Compounded by the fact that Donald Trump is running for the Republican, Nationalist, Fascist Party, whatever they're calling themselves now, the modern Republican Party whose roots, whose very existence today comes from Ronald Reagan and Reaganism. August 5th, 1981, one of his first acts, this piece of shit right here, this piece of shit fired 11,345 striking air traffic controllers and barred them from ever working for the federal government again. Like it was his. Because Reagan very much believed that this federal government and everything was his. It's where this path to authoritarianism really takes off. And this right-wing weirdo echoes that sentiment 40 years later, if you're wondering where the party is. He told the auto workers, go back to work or you're all fired and barred from the industry. Pictured here with his girlfriend. She's from Canada. She works all the time, so he can't introduce you to her. She doesn't have internet. It's very remote. But trust him. Trust him. The 50-year-old virgin. The 50-year-old virgin has a girlfriend. You would have to be the biggest fucking moron in history to run for president of the Republican Party and to even think of showing your face at a union strike. Did I mention that Donald Trump's going to be there tomorrow? I'm going to get to work on that Project 2025 video. Maybe we'll do it live. A lot of you probably know more about it than I do, so maybe we'll try to make that a live show. If it's your first time here, you like this content, make sure you subscribe. If you don't like the content, head to the comments. Say I live in my mom's basement. That's a popular one. Call it the Chode Report. Yeah, those are just some options for you if you don't want to subscribe. The Chode Report.
Oh, look. One thing is real simple. I'm going to be very brief. The fact of the matter is that you guys, the UAW, you saved the automobile industry back in 2008 and before. Made a lot of sacrifices. Gave up a lot. And the companies were in trouble. But now they're doing incredibly well. And guess what? You should be doing incredibly well too. It's a simple problem. Stick with it. Because you deserve the significant raise you need and other benefits.
Let's get it!
Let's get back what we lost, okay? Yeah! We say them, it's about time them to step up for us. Thank you. Now, there's a guy I know you don't know here, but I brought him along anyway. Sean Payne, your president.